Scorpions in just a minute on CC Rock. This is going to be the hottest show of the year. The 3 hottest bands in the world you will see in just a minute. So hang loose. We'll be right back with the Scorpions! Special thanks to Rock Bottom Records in Antioch for their donation of the new Scorpions Savage Crazy World on Mercury Records. Live videos, music videos, bonus music videos. Check it out at Rock Bottom Records in Antioch. Welcome back to CC Rock. I'm now backstage with the sound, the voice of the Scorpions, Klaus Meine. How you doing, Klaus?
How you doing? All right.
Beautiful. This is a beautiful tour. I must say, 3 bands, 3 of my top 10 bands from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, you guys have been putting out music for quite a while. Dio, Deep Purple, and of course yourself. How did this tour come about? I mean, there's a lot of people out there going, this is amazing. 3 bands like this isn't happening every day. I mean, did you guys really have to work this one out? I mean, time schedules and everything, or what?
We haven't been here since '99, and when our longtime friend and agent here in America, Guitarists, came up with the idea and the concept for this tour, you know, we said, this sounds like pretty cool, you know, because with Ronnie James Dio, he's a very close friend for many years, and the Purple guys, I mean, of course, we know Roger and Ian for many years, and we played together, I think it was in the 80s, at the Texas Jam or something in Dallas. Anyway, you know, we have a long way looking back, you know, where we thought this is a nice piece of rock history, you know, coming together, joined together, and it would be maybe a good thing to do, you know, and I guess now it's only a couple more shows to do. We've been all over America, and we started the tour the end of May, and this is coming to California. This is the last bit, save the best for last. And I can say it was the right decision to come over here and to do this tour, and because was the audience, the fans, it was just fantastic. It was a blast every night. People had such a good time, and for us, we had an amazing time, you know, and actually this tour was so good that we decided to come back early next year to do an arena tour.
Oh, cool. More Scorpions. I mean, you guys have been to the Bay Area a lot. I mean, you filmed No One Like You at Alcatraz.
Oh, yes.
You did the Symphony Tour last year with San Jose, one of the only 2 dates, I guess, in America, I think, with the Symphony. You did L.A., and then you did, of course, San Francisco. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, do you like the Bay Area? Is this a cool place for you to come back to, or you have a kinship, or is it just another stop? Well, tell me the truth.
This is fantastic. I mean, we're from Germany, right? You know, whenever we come here, we've been here many times. But today I walked down Fisherman's Wharf, you know, and just we had some time off, you know, and man, you know, and just when you take all the tourists and you don't take a look at the tourists, but you take a look at this beautiful bay with the Golden Gate, you know, with Alcatraz. And actually, you're saying that, you know, I was thinking about when we did the video there, when we stayed overnight on Alcatraz, you know, and it was fantastic. I mean,
You stayed overnight at Alcatraz for the video.
Overnight, you know, and actually the crew people, the video people, they brought an electric chair, you know. So we've been filming the whole night on Alcatraz, you know, moved different locations. You know, one of the band members, you know, he was in one of the cells, and they locked the cells. You know, he woke up in the middle.
Who'd you put in the cell?
It was gone, you know.
Was that Herman or is that Francis?
Francis. And in the next morning, you know, when the video was done and the shooting was done, the electric chair was still there, you know, and it was so funny because the first tourist boat came over, you know, and all the Japanese people, you know, they started taking pictures of the electric chair because they thought this was an original electric chair on Alcatraz, you know. So there's so many great memories in San Francisco, and the best is the fans in the Bay Area, you know. We always had a good time. I remember all the great shows we did, the Day on the Greens, you know, in Oakland.
Iron Maiden, and then, of course, the later years.
You know, and I mean, Bill Graham was such a great promoter, you know, and we're proud we're still, you know, going through the tour book, you know, and the schedule, and you go, well, we come to Concord, California, you know, it's Bill Graham Presents, you know. He was such a cool guy, and we did many great shows together, and he really was taking care of his artists, you know, with class and style. It was fantastic. There are many great memories, and of course, I mean, the Cowpillars, when we played there, and the fans in the Bay Area, they were always like, I mean, man, wild bunch of people, you know, always a fantastic crowd, and we always enjoyed it very much. So I'm looking forward to the show tonight.
Well, I mean, like I said, this is amazing. You guys are on stage, and of course, you know, you got a couple of people just wandered in the room here. The Teutonic Attack guitarist of Matthias and Rudolf. And Rudolf, we talked to you a few years ago downstairs with James, and you know, here we are. I mean, you guys are on this tour. Is this a cool tour as a guitarist to be on? Because you guys are playing, you know, you've got Steve Morse up there playing sometimes before, sometimes after, and then you got Doug Aldrich, this new guy for Dio, who's an amazing guitarist. I saw him a little while ago. How is that pressure of having all these great guitarists on the same tour? I mean, it must be kind of a, I don't know, a little bit of a strain, or no? Is it more fun?
I mean, it's no pressure. I mean, we see the whole thing in the whole package. We say when we got the offer to do the package, co-headline with Deep Purple, we said immediately yes. Even when we was planning to do a new album, because we are friends with all two bands. And, what we want to do on stage is we want to perform in a very good way and to let people enjoy the music. I think the days when everybody was fighting like hell, who wants to be the best in the Olympics of rock and roll, I think it's a little bit over. I think it's more performance of bands and, everybody can only play as good he can play. So, and what do you want to know?
You talk about the older days. I mean, the other days, I'd say a little bit more medicated for a lot of bands. A lot of stuff is going on around out there. I've heard a lot of bands I've interviewed have mellowed out a lot. Things are a little bit more, there's still the girls out there. Don't get me wrong, the girls are still out there. A little tighter on the spandex sometimes, but they're still out there. How much, I know you guys have had some great female audiences. How much is a part of that of the show for you guys? I mean, if there was no girls out there, what would happen?
It would be terrible.
We would stay home, actually.
We was actually surprised that we have so many young kids now out. Some people, I asked some of them, I said, hey, what's the reason why I'm here? I said, this and this band, your band told us or to put in papers that we are a big influence of them, and then all they want to see the original. In this case, it's good, and we have you and young girls and young guys, and it's good to know that we have new generation now. That this music is not only for one generation; it's for 2, 3 generations. I think that's a great thing. Rock and roll to musician to me is have a philosophy, a lifestyle, and I think it's the same like a blues musician and like a jazz musician. They are dying on stage, and nobody says anything bad about it. In the rock, I was saying, oh, how long you want to do it? I think we want to do it as long as we have fun with it. And we have fun, and that's the reason why we're still here.
I mean, on this tour, it's interesting to see that. I mean, we had no idea what to expect, We played the last time in '99 in the States and with Motley, and coming back this year, we had no idea really what to expect, But it seems like it's cool again, for many people out there to go and see an 80s concert, see an 80s band, and a couple of years ago it was like, I don't know if this is really cool. Mm-hmm. Now they bring their kids, their families outside, their young kids and going crazy on songs like Rock You Like a Hurricane, Blackout, and this is the music they grew up with,
Concord, California! It's good to be back, good to see you. Hey man, what a crowd. We're not taking it right tonight to Scorpions, of course, play some of the classics, hopefully the big songs and stuff, I'm sure some folks out there, they will remember this one. This song is taken around called Taken by Force. This is We Burn the Sky. Once you back again, once you join you to be free.
Tonight you play Wilbur in the Sky, a number with Uli Roth. It's not Uli Roth, it's Uli Roth, correct? Don Dokken taught me that one. Uli Roth, and he talks like Uli Roth does. And if you walked in the door today and said, you know, I love the years I played with you guys, you know, how about a triple guitar tack night? You know, what would your feeling be if you walked in and said that to you right now? I'm Uli Roth. What would you say to him?
I mean, why not?
Hi, Uli.
I suggested already, like, unfortunately it didn't work out, that for the Acoustica album, that we do something with all the guitar players that have played in the Scorpions, meaning Michael and Uli and Rudolf and myself. And unfortunately it didn't work out due to various reasons, but it would have been great for the fans, because Scorpions have always been a very, like, guitar-orientated band to everybody.
By the way, it was like this you said, what we call a telephone call from Uli, who said, you guys, I play in Donington, and it would be fantastic if you can come over. And because Michael is coming over UFO, and it would be great when we do a thing together. We tried to do it because we was already booked, and we couldn't do it in the end. But this is happening. We are still in good contact, and we are still good friends. And that's, I think, is a very important point. And maybe once, when the time is right, things will come together very easily, and then you're doing it.
Well, you have a new disc. It's a best of. Bad for Good. Is that right? Did I get it right? Bad for Good?
Yeah.
Bad for Good. You have a song, 2 new songs. One's Bad for Good on the last track, I think, on the album. How is that album? How do you pick songs? I mean, are those all like the radio hits, or these things that you guys get together and say, hey, you know what, these are some good songs, let's put these back out, and then coming together, the last 2 new songs. Is it more difficult as you get older to create music, do you think? I mean, sometimes with families and things going on, compared to the younger days where you're just like slam, 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 you're in that studio in a constant rage, almost, it seems like. Who wants to start? Matthias?
First of all, Bad for Good is a compilation that came out just before this tour here in America, and we felt like, since it's like a compilation, it's not the first one we've been releasing, that we wanted to give the fans like at least 1, 2, 3 new songs, and we went to the studio quickly before we went on this tour and recorded 2 songs which are actually songs that have been written in the early 80s, and we picked those. They were like, sometimes they got new lyrics, and we obviously recording them new, but we wanted to have like the the authenticity, so they would fit into what the 30 years of Scorpions would mean. There's songs from the 70s, from the 80s, the 90s, and something that has been newly recorded, but it's actually written in the 80s. And after the touring of this year, we go back to the studio and do a new album, but at least we want to give people a taste, so and something new to listen to. And you know, about writing new music, it is not getting easier. And it is obvious that, you know, most people, and I include myself, if I go to, let's say, one of my favorite bands is AC/DC, if I go to see them, you know, I like Highway to Hell better than almost anything else they do. So it's very hard to write something new today, which is topping what you've been doing at the time when the great songs came out. So that's not easy, but obviously every band tries.
CC Rock! Well, that wraps up this month's show with the Scorpions, Rudolf, Matthias, of course, Klaus, the voice of the Scorpions. Great guys. Definitely gotta check out the Scorpions next time they come to town. If you don't, you're a loser. Hey, you want to get in touch with CC Rock, give me a call, Metal Matt at 925-933-6264. Or you can always check out the CC Rock website at www.ccrock.tv. Now, we've got Christina here who got a drumstick from the show. Now, how did you get that, girl?
I was standing right there and he tossed it to me.
That's the whole story? Nothing more?
I was begging for it.
She was begging for it like a dog. Anyhow.
I love it.
You what?
I love to drum and I love James.
She loves to drum and she loves James Kodak because it's his stick and she wants the stick. So I won't go there anymore. Anyhow, we'll see you next time on CC Rock. Rock on, baby!
So what's up, you feeling good tonight, baby? Oh yeah, listen, and all we are gonna do is walk around to catch a train. And all you on streets we gonna dream.